From a very limited business, Meralco was given the chance to expand its service. Ms. Marcos who actually told Meralco to develop a 3-year expansion program. In that time, Meralco was able to expand to Bulacan, Cavite, and Rizal, and then parts of Batangas, Pampanga, Quezon, and Laguna, Cavite as well. So the franchise area grew, and that's when the business of Meralco really became developed and started to become a large enterprise that people depended on. Under my leadership, we at least have identified 4 major initiatives. This includes enhancements and expansions related to our revenue, and that means enhancing revenue through operational efficiencies and expanding our lines of service, and including expanding perhaps the franchise area, not as an amendment to our franchise, but to start new franchise areas outside of the Meralco franchise. And we're looking at that. We are looking at sustainability, which is the core now of our one of the 4 pillars of our strategy. Sustainability becomes very important. For us, we have developed a ESG or sustainability framework that runs across 3 decades also, 2021 to 2030, 2031 to 2040, and 2041 to 2050, each of which involves specific strategies for each decade until we reach the 3rd horizon, which is the 3rd decade, where we are going for carbon zero to decarbonization. The transition from coal has already begun. The Department of Energy has issued a ban on the building of new coal plants. So only coal plants that have been approved by the Department of Energy since 2020 can be built. Other than that, you can no longer develop a new coal. So effectively, the DOE has stepped into that. What is emerging as our transition fuel is LNG, or liquefied natural gas. And then we have companies who are already developing LNG, developing the import terminals for it. San Miguel is developing, First Gen is developing an import terminal for LNG that can be used to power their gas plants. San Miguel is building gas plants along with Ilihan. We are also looking at developing gas plants. It's very important to understand how the energy sector works and what sort of energy is required to keep the lights on effectively on a 24/7 basis. So you have to start with base load. The country needs base load power. We cannot survive on simply renewables. Today, when the sun is no longer shining or the wind is no longer blowing, where are you going to get your power? The batteries are not yet here, and the batteries that you can get today are very expensive. So that will involve an increase in power rates, which is against the very core of EPIRA, which is to provide power in the least cost manner. So the base load plants become very important. So the question to us is, how quickly should we pivot ourselves to renewables? So we've crafted a sustainability program that is anchored on a just, orderly, and affordable transition to clean energy. Hopefully, eventually, by around 2050, we'll get to a net zero position as each of these technologies mature. We can consider nuclear as a form of clean technology. Obviously, it is not pollutive like the fossil fuels. There are issues about safety of the nuclear fuel. I am especially open to the development of nuclear energy in the Philippines. I think there is new development in the field that actually is quite suitable for the Philippines. The small nuclear reactors. These are small modular reactors, not the conventional Bataan nuclear power plant type huge reactors. No, these are factory produced components of a nuclear reactor. They're smaller, but you just build them based on how much you need. Small modular reactors do not exceed 300 megawatts. So it's actually very suitable for the Philippines. The first small modular reactor, I think, will come online in 2027 or 2028. Even as we speak, we have to ready the country for the nuclear energy development because it takes quite some time before a country can be prepared to be a nuclear energy country. You need to become a member of the international atomic organizations. You need to sign a non-proliferation agreement with the US. You have what they call a 1-2-3 agreement. And then you have to develop the talent pool, right? Because there are very few people in the Philippines who understand or who can operate power plants, but there are a lot of Filipinos who are working in power plants abroad. So it's time to bring them in. It's very hard to project what the cost of electricity will be in terms of what is going to eventually be charged to the consumers. Because electricity cost today is profoundly affected by developments that have a tendency to influence the rise of fuel, of coal, of oil, of gas. Right? Today, the cost of these three commodities are very high. So if you examined your electricity bill last month, you will notice the spike. And that's principally because of generation charges, which under our scheme of regulations is a pass-through. When the pandemic hit us, we had to draw on the strength of the organization and its people. The power has to be on 24/7. And even at the height of the pandemic, 70% of our people are field personnel, and they're out there in the fields, right, working to keep the power on. So we have to draw on the organization and the malasakit of our people. Malasakit is a deeply ingrained character or trait in Meralco. Safety of our employees was of paramount importance to me because you have to make sure that your employees are safe so that they can continue delivering the service. Then we needed to address the issues with our customers. The customer care unit of Meralco was not geared for the volume and the deluge of calls that they were getting. We had to draw on the strength of our own employees and service providers. So we had a total of around over 3,000 people just taking those calls. We gave them installment payment plans or arrangements that would allow them to pay the accumulated bills for the businesses. We had to waive the guaranteed minimum demand requirement that is part of the contract with an enterprise customer, whether it's commercial or industrial. We had to waive that. So that cost us a lot of money. But I'd say I'm very happy that we did it because in a way we were able to help these organizations. Meralco has electrified 100% of the areas that have been identified by the Department of Energy for electrification. And that is actually a huge achievement from where it was before. So the thing about electricity is once you put power into an area, everything changes. New businesses will rise, productivity will increase, and the general welfare will be much better. So that's how life-changing power is. And we have seen that throughout the history of Meralco. It improved the lives of people when power is there. My leadership is, I describe it as hands-on, but I empower my senior management to do their respective jobs. But I want to be informed about the things that are happening within their respective areas. Nothing beats information. I don't want information to lag such that I receive a call from a customer and I don't know what's happening. I just want to be remembered as a leader that started the notion of sustainability in Meralco. They have embraced it today, and to march on and achieve the goal of sustainability well into the future. I would like sustainability to be at the core of Meralco.